What's up, guys? I'm BTC. Hope you're having a good weekend. Got some quick news tidbits for you. First up, you can play Overwatch for free from now until December 4th on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. The offer is not available on the Switch, unfortunately, but you can try any one of those three. Now, I realize that a lot of you guys that watch my videos probably already own it, but this is a good opportunity in case you have a friend who might be interested in it, or maybe you own it on Xbox and you want to give it a try on PC, or vice versa. You can do that and try it for free and see if you like it, and then you can get it. Because there's also a big sale going on right now, and that leads into the other thing is if you are a console player and you're deciding to buy one of the PC versions of the game, then you can currently get it at a pretty big discount because there's a big sale going on with everything on Battle.net. And for Overwatch, you can get the standard edition for 25% off, which means the regular game of Overwatch is only $15, and then the Legendary Edition is 50% off, which is only $20. So you get the regular game, obviously, and then a bunch of extra Legendary skins and some other goodies and whatever they include with it. That's only for the PC version of the game. I don't know if Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo Switch are doing their own little sales. They might be, but for the Black Friday sales and stuff for Overwatch, that lasts until December 2nd. So the free-to-play is until December 4th, and the sale is until December 2nd. Moving on, Jeff Kaplan and some of the other Overwatch devs have clarified some things and confirmed some others, and also given us a little bit of new information here and there about Overwatch 2 and some of the other stuff that we can expect. So first, a couple of clarifications, because I know a lot of people were concerned about this, and it got brought up again, so I want to say it. If you have any sort of skins and all that stuff, all your progression will carry over with you if you get Overwatch 2, so you don't lose any of the stuff that you've already got. And if you decide to just stick with Overwatch 1, maybe you don't care about the story mode, the campaign, all that sort of stuff, you just want to stick with the regular game, then you will still get access to every new hero and every new map that gets released. So if you stay with Overwatch 1, you still get all that stuff. I mean, obviously you don't have access to the campaign mode and, you know, that sort of deal. But the new heroes and the new maps, you still get it. And if you do switch over, you don't lose anything, you get to keep everything. Jeff Kaplan also talked about their focus with Overwatch 2 being intense story-driven, and it's a big departure from what we have with the original Overwatch, where it was just PvP and, you know, there really wasn't much story going on. So he says, a lot of our players wanted us to move the story forward super fast, but it's really important to understand who these people are, referring to the characters, and where they came from. It's a brand new universe, so you need to explain what happened and how we got to this state. That said, we know that people are ready to see the overarching plotline move forward, and that's the complete and full intention of Overwatch 2. And from what I've seen from what Jeff Kaplan's been saying in a bunch of these interviews, it sounds like Overwatch 2, at least the initial campaign that we get, is going to have a complete story arc. A start, a middle, and an end, a conclusion. Now, there's going to be probably side plots and other little things, loose ends, that don't get answered during the campaign, because obviously they're going to want to make more campaigns in the future. I don't know if they're going to be included as free content with Overwatch 2, or if they're going to be Overwatch 3, or, you know, DLC or expansion, or none of that, so I guess we'll have to wait. That's still, you know, long way down the road. Jeff Kaplan continued, he said, we already know the arc of the story experience, and not every one of the current 31 heroes is playable. It just doesn't make sense for some of them. Their stories don't align. Now, there are a lot of heroes in the story experience, and that's one of the things that we think is really cool about Overwatch 2. We're also exploring the idea of opening up player choice. In the Rio mission, for example, we limit you to Reinhardt, Mei, Tracer, and Lucio. If you think about it, Lucio is the most central character in that story, and he has to be there. He continues by saying that characters like Brigitte, Mercy, and Genji could also fit in that scenario instead of some of the other ones. Obviously, Lucio would have to be there because he's the main part of that particular story. And that's something that they're exploring, but it would be on a limited basis only. They would still have to restrict it. You wouldn't be able to just open it up to all the characters, because he says that we wouldn't suddenly let you play in Rio as I mean, he uses the wrong name. He says Wrecking Ball. I don't know who that character is. I think he refers to Hammond. But anyways, so what he's trying to say here is, yeah, when you're doing the campaign, they might open it up and have some flexibility so you don't have to use the same 4 characters every single time. It's not going to be completely open like what you have with the all pick on some of the archives missions, but you will still be able to play at least a limited roster of different characters. Maybe one of them might be restricted, like in this case of Lucio, but we'll have to see. It's still work in progress. He keeps, talking about how it's, still got a long way to go. For the campaign, he also talked about how the sound design is the exact opposite of what they have been doing in the past. Because for Overwatch PvP, you don't want to have music and other distractions. You need to be able to hear what the enemy is doing when the barrier breaks, when their ultimate's ready, all that sort of stuff. You need to hear those important sound cues. But in cooperative, in a campaign, that stuff doesn't really matter that much because there might be certain bosses that have some sound cues, but for the most part, it's, a little bit more kind of laid-back, casual thing where the sound is more about generating a mood and an environment than kind of giving you feedback on what the enemy is doing. And to that end, they ended up creating a new dynamic sound system that actually allows them to change it depending on what's going on. So it will react to how the situation is for the players in the campaign. And you'll get different music and different kind of scores and all that sort of stuff depending on what's going on. As far as the release date, they once again reiterated that they have no schedule. There is no set release date. My guess is there's definitely internal schedules for when they want the game to come out. They just don't want to let everybody know because then if they have to change it, they don't want to look like, oh, you said it was going to come out in January and now it's pushed back to March or something, right? Like, they don't want to do that. So my guess is probably going to be announced at next year's BlizzCon and then released a little bit later than that. Maybe they'll have an open beta after BlizzCon or something. Who knows? He also talked a little bit about the new game mode called Push, and as it turns out, they designed that several years ago. Basically, what happened is one of their tech artists made a map where he put the payload from King's Row in the middle, but the problem was the map was huge. It was just this really long kind of linear map, and it had all sorts of design issues because of how long it was, and it just really wouldn't work for like a standard payload or a hybrid map or anything like that. But then someone else on the team came along and liked it, and they changed it, so rather than having it just be a payload map where you move it from one side to the other, now it's the tug-of-war style push map where both teams have to, move the object to the other side. So having the really, really long maps now kind of works with this game mode. Now, I haven't really talked about this too much, and I probably will more when the push game mode actually gets released, but this is one of those game modes that it's very different from the other ones. Like, for example, if you're playing on Hanamura and you're defending and the attackers just roll through and stomp you and they just like capture the first point, capture the second point, and you're in all kinds of trouble. They got like 6 minutes on their timer, right? Like you're in some bad times right there. But you definitely can come back from that. And the same thing with any of the other ones, whether it's payload or control map, all that sort of other stuff. So even if you get stomped on one of them, you can still turn it around and end up winning. But with the push game mode, you can't do that. Because once one team gets it all the way to the end, that's it. The match is over. There's no second round. There's no coming back from that. If you get stomped, that's it. So I think there is actually a pretty good chance that at least a decent amount of the push matches that pop up on the competitive ladder, they're going to be like 3 or 5 minute matches, right? Really, really, really short matches where one team just gets absolutely stomped and they're just never able to recover. And that's it. Match is over. Plus or minus 25 competitive points. Have a nice day. So, that's actually going to be a little bit more problematic when you have to deal with smurfs and throwers and levers and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I mean, I still think push is probably going to be a fun game mode, but it does kind of raise some other issues. But anyways, guys, so that is the news for this week. And remember, you can play for free until the 4th, and you can also get it for half off on Battle.net until the 2nd. And just to be abundantly clear, no, this video is not sponsored by Blizzard, and they're not paying me to say any of this. I just wanted to let you guys know, because hey, that's what I do. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything. Also, come hang out in my Discord server and my Twitch live stream. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see what kind of cool VIP rewards you can get, check the links down below. And remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault.